Suprabhatam. You know Suprabhatam? No. Means good morning in Sanskrit. Su means good. Prabhatam is the rising of the sun, the morning. Okay. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hey Krishna karuna sindhu dinabandho jagatpate gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namostute. Tapta kanchana gaurangi radhe vrindavaneshwari rishabhanu sute devi pranamami hari priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. There's a very nice prayer, a verse by Srila Sanatana Gosvāmī glorifying the Bhagavatam. He composed 5 verses glorifying the Bhagavatam toward the end of his Sri Krishna Lila Stava, which is more than 400 verses praising Krishna in his pastimes by addressing Krishna directly in the vocative form. So at the end he praises also in the vocative form the Bhagavatam. And he says, what does he say? Paramananda pataya prema varshyakshāraya te sarvada sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya namostume. He says, the Bhagavatam, O you Bhagavatam, the reading of which, pata, brings parama ananda, supreme ananda, and which is prema varshi aksharaya. You who are a shower of aksharas. What's an akshara? Anyone know what an akshara is? Syllable, exactly. Very good. So we're reading the Bhagavatam, it's full of syllables. It can also, we might say it's a letter. Each letter of the Sanskrit alphabet in its basic form always implies a short A after the letter, unless it's a vowel. Any case, akshara means also that which cannot be broken, akshara, and so it's that which is irreducible. You cannot make it shorter. You can't make it less than what it is. Those are aksharas. So prema varshi aksharayate. Maharaj, you have a doctor's appointment.
Well, he said I was finished.
Oh, that was quick. So, prema varshi aksharayate. O you, Bhagavatam, who are a shower of aksharas which give prema. So every syllable of the Bhagavatam is part of a shower of syllables which are giving Krishna prema. And then sarvada sarvasevyaya. O you, Bhagavatam, who are sevya. What does seva mean? Seva? Service. So sevya means that which can be served, or that which should be served, which is servable. And so sarva sevyaya means you who are servable by sarva, by everyone. Everyone can serve the Bhagavatam. And when can we serve the Bhagavatam? Sarvada, always. Always. And then the last line is Shri Krishnaya Namo Astu Me. Unto you, the Bhagavatam, who are Sri Krishna himself. It's okay. You are Krishna himself, therefore let there be obeisance, namaha, unto you, astu, let there be, me, by me. So that's the prayer. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Deving sarasvating vyasam Tato jayamudirayet Nashta prayeshu vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We're reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Brahma's Prayers to Lord Krishna, and today's verse is just after the final prayer of Lord Brahmā in this series. Śrī Śuka uvāca abhiṣṭūya bhūmānaṁ abhiṣṭūya bhūmānaṁ triḥ parikramya pādayoḥ triḥ parikramya pādayoḥ natvābhīṣṭaṁ jagat-dhātā natvābhīṣṭaṁ jagat-dhātā sva-dhāma pratyapadyata, sva-dhāma pratyapadyata,
Śrī Śukadeva abhiṣṭūya bhūmānaṁ parikramya pādayoḥ abhiṣṭam jagat-dhātā sva-dhāma pratyapadyata Śrī Śukadeva bhūmānam parikramya pādayoḥ natvābhīṣṭaṁ jagad-dhātā sva-dhāma pratyapadyata.
Śrī Śuka uvāca,
Śrī Śukadeva
abhiṣṭūya bhūmānaṁ, triḥ parikramya pādayoḥ, natvābhīṣṭaṁ jagat-dhātā, sva-dhāma pratyapadyata. Śrī Śuka uvāca, abhiṣṭūya bhūmānaṁ, triḥ parikramya pādayoḥ, natvābhīṣṭaṁ jagat-dhātā, sva-dhāma pratyapadyata.
Yes, so what does it mean? Śrī Śukadeva uvāca, Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī said, iti, thus, abhiṣṭūya, offering praise, bhūmānam, to the unlimited Supreme Lord. Three times. Parikramya, circumambulating. Pādayoḥ, at his feet. Natvā, bowing down. Abhiṣṭam, desired. Jagat, of the universe. Dhātā, the creator. Sva-dhāma, to his personal abode. Pratyapadyata, returned. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. This is the first chapter after Srila Prabhupada translated. So Srila Prabhupada translated the Bhagavatam up through chapter 13 of the 10th canto, and then he departed. And he gave charge to devotees, in particular Hridayananda Das Goswami, who had been studying Sanskrit and had become quite competent, and is quite competent in Sanskrit, to continue to. And so he and Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu in particular, who also was very competent in Sanskrit, continued finishing the 10th and then the 11th and then the 12th cantos with Commentary. Translation. Śukadeva Gosvāmī said, having thus offered his prayers, Brahmā circumambulated his worshipable Lord, the unlimited personality of Godhead, 3 times, and then bowed down at his lotus feet. The appointed creator of the universe then returned to his own residence. Sva-dhāma pratyapadyata. Purport, short one. Although Lord Brahmā had prayed to take birth as a blade of grass in Vrindavan, or even in the area surrounding Vrindavan, Lord Krishna, by his silent response to Brahma's prayers, indicated that Brahmā should return to his own abode. First, Brahmā had to complete his personal devotional service of universal creation. Then he could come to Vrindavan and get the mercy of the inhabitants there. In other words, a devotee should always be attentive to executing his personal devotional service properly. This is more important than trying to live in the Lord's abode. And so ends the purport. Mukam karati vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Sri Gurun Dinataranam. There are many passages in the Bhagavatam describing Krishna's appearance, and then at the end of his appearance, it says, and then he disappeared. Can we think of any examples of this? Where the Lord has come for some time, there's some exchange with some devotee, and then it says, and then he disappeared.
When he came to fulfill the desires of Daksha, riding on the back of Garuda with all the demigods, he gave him his blessings and then he disappeared.
Blessings and then... And you mentioned Narada. What happened there? Who said that? Was it Uddhava?
He appeared just to make stronger Narada Muni's vow.
Appeared within his heart, he was in ecstasy, and then he disappeared.
And then he disappeared, right? Yes. Any others? Any other cases? Huh? Yes, yes. In the Rasa Leela dance, just the dance was just getting underway, and then suddenly Krishna's gone.
He appeared to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a number of times, and then disappeared, and then broke heart.
Left him, yes. So many cases like this. Now we're getting something else. Instead of the Lord disappearing, it's the Lord's devotee who's disappearing, Lord Brahmā. After he, however, has asked permission to leave, verse 39 says, Anujanihi Mam Krishna. O Krishna, please give leave. In English, we say, please give leave, means give permission. So please give leave to leave. Please let me go now. Which is kind of interesting that he's saying, please let me go now. Because you'd sort of expect the devotee to say something more like, please let me always be with you. I cannot get enough of your presence, your beauty, your association. But Lord Brahmā says, anyway, I've said my prayers now. So, Hare Krishna. So let me go. These prayers, of course, are celebrated very much. One just before this, verse 39, which I like especially, is a short one. Jananta eva janantu kim bahuktya name prabhu manaso vapusho vacho vaibhavam tava gochara. There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think that way. As far as I'm concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. Oh my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and words. Manaso vapusho, vapusho vacho, vaibhavam, tavagocharam. And we could say this is one of the, if not the central theme of this pastime of Brahma vimohana, the bewilderment of Brahma. The theme being the unlimited power, the unlimited opulence of the Lord. He is all-powerful, and he's shown that in a wonderful, and we might want to say playful way, and a surprising way. Lord Brahma has stolen his friends, hidden them away. What is Krishna's response? Oh, okay. So let's just replace them all. So he immediately expands himself into the forms, showing precise form and character and appearance and qualities of all of his friends. And not only that, but also of all of the calves that had been stolen. And mothers of calves, cows, they all know their particular calf children. And the children know their mother. When I was in the Talasari farm in northern Maharashtra, which is the farm of the ISKCON Juhu. Have you been there? Very nice farm. It's there's Govardhan Eco Village, and maybe 45 minutes from there is Talasari, where they have more than 200 cows, Gir cows, a particular breed of that area. They're very sweet cows. They have big long ears that hang down like this, and big foreheads, and they're very reddish color, and they give very nice milk. And I would see every morning at milking time, they had a pen with all of the calves. There were quite many calves. Seemed like always about 50 calves. And they were all penned together in a pen which was maybe 2/3 the size of this room. So they were all crowded together. And of course they all had their names, and the cowherd would come, and one by one he would call the calves to come to their mother. And the calves responded to their names. So if a calf was, in the back, they would call the calf's name, and the calf would come running to the gate, along with 5 or 10 others who also wanted to go to their mothers. So he would push them back, and he would let this one calf come out of the gate, and the calf would zoom to its mother immediately. And it was never confused, where is my mother? Right? They know. So Krishna was able to be like all of these calves and cowherd boys. So this opulence of Krishna is very much celebrated here, and Lord Brahmā is recognizing it, he's appreciating it, and he is, as we say in English, eating humble pie. In other words, he's humbled by what he sees, but his response, having had this, having recognized his foolishness, is actually a very positive response. He's doing the right thing. He's not saying, "Oh, I'm so fallen, I'm so fallen, I'm so fallen," and then sort of crawling away. No, he's recognizing the greatness of the Lord and therefore praising the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Some months ago, this last December, it was in January, early January. I was in Salt Lake City, in Utah, in the U.S., and Salt Lake City is the center of the Mormons. And there's one devotee, Hare Krishna initiated devotee, who is also a Mormon, a practicing Mormon. And he has a kind of, double life. Anyway, this devotee, I met him, and he very kindly took me on a tour of the Mormon center. They have a huge hall. They have the largest concert hall in the world. It holds, I think they said 20,000 people, 20,000 seats. And it's not a sports hall, it's a concert hall. So it's all, anyway, that's beside the point. The point I want to make was, they're known for the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, as it's called. They have a chorus, a choir, of, I think it's 300, was it 360? I think so, 360 members, men and women. And they perform every Sunday morning in the Mormon Tabernacle, which was built more than 100 years ago. So they have a short performance. It just goes for half an hour, and it's broadcast live. And they've been doing that for something like 100 years. So we went to their performance. And it was praise the Lord, it was real American style, but, totally professional, first class, everyone, of course, very good singers, and everyone, it's just very professional. And very hearty also, because it's devotional. They're actually singing devotionally. And it was inspiring. It was nice. It was kirtan. I remember here, some years ago, there was a lady who was training the devotees how to do 4-part choir, and you were singing Hare Krishna mantra in 4 parts. Yeah. Huh? Barbara. Yeah. Where is Barbara? Anyway, that was nice. So, Lord Brahmā is praising the Lord in so many wonderful and, we can say, also very precise, philosophically rich ways in his prayers. And what is Krishna doing all the time that he's offering the prayers? He's simply standing and listening. He doesn't respond. And in the purport, the explanation is there. This may be from one of the previous acharyas, that his silence was a cue to Lord Brahmā that, yes, it's time for you to go now and go back to your place, to do your service. Don't linger. So we might also think of Vrindavan as the, so to say, main stage of Krishna Lila. It's where Krishna, he has other stages. He goes to Mathura, he's in Dwaraka, and of course in different forms, like Lord Rama, he appears in other places, Ayodhya, and then all of his pastimes. But Krishna's main place of pastimes, of course, is Vrindavan. And we can think of Krishna as performing his pastimes, and sometimes Srila Prabhupada would refer to bhakti, devotional service, as something to be performed, to be, he would use the word performance. So we usually think of performance as something you do for others, as some sort of entertainment. But performance can also be educational. It can also be for, good drama is for the upliftment of the audience as well. But in this case, Lord Brahmā he's been on stage, he's performed his prayers, now he is completed, and now he goes off stage. To go back behind stage, you could say, because what is Lord Brahmā's function? Sometimes it's said he's the engineer of the universe. So it may be he has some work to do. he has service. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's Lord Brahmā who is quoted by Krishna, Saha yagya prajashrishva purovāca prajapati anena prasivishyadvam eshavo astu eshavostvishta kamaduk, that Prajapati, usually understood to mean Brahmā, Saha yagya praja shrishtva, having created the praja, saha yagya, together with yagya, with the performance of yagya. Pura, previously, uvāca, said. Purovacha Prajapati. Who said? Prajapati said. What did he say? Anena, by this, anena prasavishyadvam, may you become pleased and fulfilled, something like that. Eshava ishta kamaduk. This yagya, which is an ishta kamaduk, it is a wish-fulfilling cow. Let all your desires be fulfilled. He's not saying, may you now all suffer in the material world. He's saying, may you all enjoy. But how to enjoy? Saha yagya prajat, with yagya. And then yagya shishtashina santo muchante sarva kilbishai. He says you should perform yagya. And if one does not perform yagya, then there are there are problems. Then there is suffering. So that's Lord Brahma's business. That's his service. He is arranging yajna for everyone to progress in spiritual life, and, as Prabhupada would so many times say, qualify oneself to go back home, back to Godhead. So Lord Brahma is not going back home, back to Godhead just yet. He has service to do. Now, I should end here according to the sign. Zyutrai, morning, 8:45. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, but I wanted to very briefly shift gears, shift direction to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which are very devotional. Well, sort of devotional. But that's kind of the point I want to make, is that there are 3 times in the Yoga Sutras, and how many Yoga Sutras are there? 195. But there are 3 times, once in the first pada, twice in the second pada, that Patanjali says Ishvara Pranidhana. In the first pada, verse Sutra 23, he just says Ishvara Pranidhanat va. And this is sort of, it's interesting because he's giving, va means or. How do you say or in Slovenian? Ali. So in Polish, ale. Ali. So what is this or about? He's giving different options for how to practice to ultimately absorb oneself in samadhi. And he's saying you can do this, or you can do this, or you can do this, or Ishvari Pranidhanat, by means of Pranidhana can mean devotion, and Ishvara means Lord. But that's as much as he says. He does elaborate a little bit in this part. Let's see, he says, yeah, he describes the Lord. Do you want to hear how he describes the Lord? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Say, yes! Yes. Jai. Klesha karma vipakashayayar uparam rishta purusha vishesha ishvaraha. The Lord is a special soul. He is untouched by the obstacles to the practice of yoga. He is untouched by karma, by the fructification of karma, and subconscious predispositions. That's vipaka. No, that's the fructification. Ashayai, by the receptacle, the storage or deposit of samskaras. Okay, so he's giving a kind of bare bones description. What means Ishvara in the context of yoga? So, so what, you may say? Well, he does go on to suggest how to meditate or how to do pranidhan. He says one more thing about who is this Ishvara. He says, Tatra nir atishayam sarvagya bijam. In him, the seed, bijam, of omniscience is unsurpassed. Sarvagya bijam is nir atishayam. In other words, he's all-knowing. But it's how he said it is, I find it fascinating. He is the seed, or in him is the seed of omniscience, and that seed is unsurpassed. Okay. And then he says, oh, there's more about Ishvara. Do you want to hear more about Ishvara? Yes. Okay. Purvesham api guru kalena anavachedat. Ishvara was also the teacher of the ancients. Because he is not limited by time. Now, where do we know about this point in Bhagavad Gita? Where in the Bhagavad Gita? Who knows this other than Prahladananda Swami? Huh? What were you saying?
There was no time in the past and there will be no time in the future when you and me and these things were not.
Okay, something like that, right? What else does Krishna say in this regard? Huh? I am time. Okay. What does he say more specifically regarding being a teacher of the ancients? No, let's hear.
Yeah, he was teaching, he said he was teaching to Ikshvaku and
Yes. Before Ikshvaku, who was he teaching?
Sun God.
The sun god, yes. And who else? Not Brahma. Manu, yes. Okay, we got it. What's the verse? Imam vivasvate yogam praktam avyam manor ikshakabe abravit. And he says, yes, I taught this long ago. Here, Patanjali is saying the same thing, but in a more compact way. But then what does Krishna say in the Gita after that, after he's spoken to the sun gods Manu and Ikshvaku? Then, sa kalene hava. Yes. Sa kalene ha bhavata? Mahata. Yes, sa kalene ha mahata. Then, yogo nashta. O parantapa. O burner of the other. Literally. Yeah. Yogaha nashtaha. What means nashtaha? Yoga, the yoga was yeah, nashta, gone. So Patanjali doesn't speak about that, but he does say that this Lord, Ishvara, has spoken this to the ancients long ago. Okay, then, tasya vachaka pranava. The name designating him is the mystical syllable Om. Now you may ask, wait a minute, I didn't hear this syllable Om in the sutra. It said tasya vachaka pranava. Where's Om? Yeah. Pranava is a fancy word for Om. Yeah. So, and then he's going to say, so you can chant Om. How come we don't chant Om? We do. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes. Then he says, Tat Japa, Tat Artha Bhavanam. Its repetition and the contemplation of its meaning, Tat Artha, should be performed. That's, I think, all he says on that subject.
He also mentions that amongst the yamas and niyamas, one of the niyamas
Is Ishvara Pranidhan, yeah. Yes, that's in the second pada. He also includes it as one of 3 elements of Kriya Yoga. But he doesn't say anything more about it. But the conjecture is that he was a bhakta of some sort. Was he a bhakta of Shiva or of Krishna, Vishnu, Narayan? He doesn't tell us. But at least he says, at least he does mention Ishvara as at least a way of advancing in the practice of yoga. So we can say that then the Bhagavad Gita is unfolding what is just hinted in the Yoga Sutra. And then the Bhagavatam is going all the way to expand the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki. Comments, reflections, doubts. Yes.
About this kidnapping the cowherd boys and calves.
Back to the fun part. Okay.
We also hear this this explanation that they were actually like Mother Sita, they were not kidnapped.
Not really kidnapped.
Yeah. So do you maybe know
What
where this
really
explanation is coming from some acharyas or from some book or?
I don't know. That may be from one of the acharyas, one of the commentaries. Is it? Vishwanath. It sounds like Vishwanath. Yeah. So he's saying they didn't really steal the... Brahmā didn't actually steal them. So where did they go? What happened to them? It seems like they were taken away.
It was Maya Cowboys. And then Krishna took the other ones, I believe they were asleep right here. Because Brahmā took the Maya, the illusory coward boys and the calves, and he put them in a cave. Krishna put the other ones to sleep. So when Brahmā came back, he looked at where he put them, and they were there. And then he looked at the coward boys that Krishna had expanded himself into, and they were there. So he got really confused. It seems like they're both in both places, but the other ones were somewhere else.
So the original coward boys were in a third place,
Right.
and they were all just asleep, having a 1-year nap. They were in hibernation. Yes. Same.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Maharaj, for this very comprehensive Krishna-centered class. I was just thinking when you were talking about Brahma's prayers and how Krishna is silently listening, how that is, and you have that kind of seminar like dialogical Vaishnavism. I was thinking that's like art of communication, how Krishna is patiently, compassionately listen to Brahma's prayers, and how there is so much to learn from these pastimes, how we can offer our prayers and express our desire to the Lord, and then develop patience to see how Krishna will respond. Sometimes will not come immediately, and then we need to somehow develop this art of communication with God through his devotees and like that. So just thinking whether maybe you have something to add like this, how we can develop this art of communication with Krishna and his devotees.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're suggesting is the listening aspect of communication. And of course, that's essential part of communication. Communication is going in two directions. So usually what we're doing when someone else is speaking is we're busy thinking of what we're going to say in response. So we're only half listening. And there have been studies done of multitasking that demonstrates that it doesn't work. You can't actually multitask. Your attention can only be at on one thing at a time, basically.
That's what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. Bahusaka yanantasta. Yeah, what's that? Yata gyasasi tatshrinu. Listen to me. Yes. Yeah. He doesn't say listen to me and while you're also listening to something else, listening to your own mind. Yeah, so this is itself quite a challenge. And when we're talking, communicating with others, especially if we feel somehow challenged or threatened, then we're busy with, essentially with defense, right? Ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha samanyametat pashabir naranam. So bhaya, the mental activity is a kind of defensive activity. So how to sort of put the defensive tendency aside and just listen, that's quite a challenge. Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions you shouldn't preach to someone who doesn't accept you as a subordinate. It's going to agitate their mind.
Yeah.
That's one of the qualities of austerity of speech.
Anudvega karam bhakyam satyam priyahitam jayat. Yeah. Yes, Uddhava.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Regarding prayers, I read in the section when Prahlad Maharaj is offering prayers to Nrsimhadeva, Prabhupada wrote that like when one's offer prayer to the Lord, he becomes established at once on the level of the Brahmā. So if you can give some subtitles, what this means in our devotional life.
Okay. All activity, all devotional activity, it's understood, is on the level of Brahman. Because, what is it? Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, Brahma karma? No.
Brahma karma samadhina.
Samadhina. Oh, yeah. Svabhavajam. That's another point. Samadhina. Brahma karma samadhina. One is absorbed in Brahma karma, which is an interesting idea. Transcendental karma, activity which is beyond karma. So prayers, offering prayers, that's just one of so many forms of Brahmarpanam, offering to the Lord, which is transcendental. Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the lecture. When you asked about the example of Krishna Lila where Krishna disappears, I was all of a sudden thinking, isn't it the nature of the Lord permanently that he always disappears throughout the whole Bhagavatamrita? All the devotees are complaining about his sudden disappearance.
Yeah.
So the question came to my mind, in how many Leelas he stays?
Are there any Leelas where Krishna stays? He seems to disappear more than he stays. Yes. In what comes to mind is maybe a little tangential, but in our Gaudiya tradition, we actually celebrate Krishna's absence. When I say celebrate, I don't mean like, oh, isn't it great, Krishna has disappeared or is not there, but rather we focus on his absence as a core principle. Viraha, vipralamba bhava is a core generator of devotional emotion in our understanding. And this is in contrast from what I've heard in the Nimbarka Sampradaya. They insist kind of the opposite. They say, no, there's no question of separation between Radha and Krishna, because, and there's a logic to what they say. Shakti and Shaktiman are always together, and we understand that also. But there's Leela, and in Leela there is separation, and that separation becomes the very core of the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So yeah, it's an interesting question. Where does Krishna actually stay? It's said that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, even one step does he go out of Vrindavan. But that statement is said within a context of the sense that Krishna has left Vrindavan, isn't it? There wouldn't be a need to say Krishna never leaves Vrindavan unless we felt that Krishna has left Vrindavan.
Even in the Brihad-bhagavatam, when Kumar goes to Goloka Vrindavan, still Krishna apparently leaves there. Kura appears at a certain time, picks Krishna up.
Even in Goloka. Yeah, it's like, I finally made it to Goloka. I'll be with Krishna all the time. Whoops, he just left for Mathura. But there's one pastime in which the devotees relish Krishna's non-stop presence. Yes. When Krishna lives Govardhan Hill, he can't go anywhere, right? If Krishna would go somewhere, there'd be a big problem.
He'd hand it to Nanda Maharaj.
Huh?
He'd hand it over to Nanda Maharaj.
Here, you take it for a while. And Nanda Maharaj collapsed. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, on the other side, we understand that Rasa Leela is going on perpetually. And also that when it's performed in Bhoma Vrindavan, it goes on for a night of Brahmā, which is a long time. So, and Krishna is present. He's initially present, then the gopis come, then he disappears, and then eventually he appears again, and then they dance. Yeah. Grantara Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.